Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Siti Salma. On this occasion, I will present the result of my research on the democratic system in Indonesia, along with its challenges and recommendations. This video was made to fulfill the achievement of the civic education course. Indonesia, as the world's largest archipelagic country with a diverse population, has undergone a long and dynamic journey in building its democratic system since the independence in 1945. The selection of Indonesia as a case study is based on the complexity of its political history, dynamic democracy transition, and the unique challenge in faces in maintaining democratic stability and progress. This report aims to provide a more in-depth picture of the development of democracy in Indonesia, the challenges and recommendations for improvement. The history of democracy in Indonesia can be divided into several phases that reflect significant development and change in the system of government. At the beginning of independence, Indonesia implemented parliamentary democracy from 1945 to 1959. During this period, Parliament had an important role in government, and the first election was held in 1955, which was participated by more than 30 political parties. However, the system experienced political instability and conflict, so it was considered less suitable for Indonesia. After that, President Sukarno issued a presidential decree on July 5, 1959, which marked the transition to guided democracy. In the system, political power is centralized in the president. This era ended with the G30 PKI incident in 1965. Then Suharto took over power and began the New Order era, known as Pancasila democracy. Despite trying to implement the values of Pancasila and the 1945 Constitution, Suharto's government was marked by authoritarianism, corruption, and reaction on political freedom. After the fall of Suharto in May 1998, Indonesia entered the reform era. During this period, democracy returned to basic principles such as direct election, freedom of the press, decentralization, and more guaranteed basic rights of citizens. The reform era brought significant change in the implementation of a more open and participatory democracy, providing space for the community to participate more actively in the political and government process. The current system of government in Indonesia is a presidential system, which is regulated by the 1945 after amendment. In this system, first, the president acts as both head of state and head of government. Second, the president is directly elected by the people through general election with a fixed term of office of 5 years. And last, the president is not responsible to parliament, but has the power to appoint and dismiss ministers. General election stage. First, planning by the KPU, preparing election infrastructure and regulation. Second, voter data updating. ensuring that the voter list remain accurate. Third, registration of political parties and candidates. Political parties and candidates register officially. For campaign, candidates promote themselves to win votes, and less voting. Elections are held simultaneously. Political participation in Indonesia is an important component of the democratic system, where citizens are actively involved in the political process through various means. General election or pemilu and regional election or pilkada allow citizens to elect leaders and representatives at various levels. In addition, citizens also participate through parliamentation and mass action to voice their aspirations regarding government policies. Participation in civil society organizations such as an advocacy group also allows citizens to influence public policy. In the digital era, social media has become an important platform for citizens to discuss and share information on political issues, as well as influence public opinion. Democracy in Indonesia has strength in terms of active political participation of the people, an open general election system, and guarantees of civil liberties in the Constitution. However, its weaknesses lie in the problem of corruption, social and economic equality, human rights violation, and threat of radicalism and extremism. The space for civil liberties is also increasingly narrow due to the threat of criminalization and the oligarchic power system. To strengthen Indonesian democracy, several important suggestions need to be considered, such as democratic institutions and the rule of law need to be strengthened so that they function effectively and accountability. Increasing government transparency and accountability is crucial to restore public trust and prevent corruption. Improving the judicial system and law enforcement is important to ensure justice. Political education and public awareness of rights and obligations must be improved for active participation. Addressing socioeconomic inequality through inclusive policies need to be pursued. Protection of civil liberties and human rights must be priorities, and countering radicalism and extremism must be carried out comprehensively. With this, Indonesian democracy will be stronger and more inclusive. That's enough presentation for me. I apologize if there are any mistakes. Thank you for your attention. See you.